some music, DJ. I knew they were going to try to get me. Music, please.
Hearing. Hearing.
All right, y'all. I'm too cheap to go ahead and do everything. But, all right, I'm back. So, I got lucky. This time. Now, all right, y'all. Let's have a conversation. Has social media become so destructive? Misinformation. Let me put this up. Girl, real quick.
You didn't put fair use.
I didn't.
I texted you, but yeah, you didn't put fair use on your thing.
I should have.
You used to be good about that. Like,
you know what? When you stop giving a shit about this goddamn space, we need to just go over to the cooking channel. Or something.
They was quick about that shit.
They were like, "Oh, whoa, what is this shit?" Listen, man, I'm no longer doing conspiracy panels. I'm not doing theory channels. I'm not doing Illuminati talk. I'm not doing whoa, whoop is me, whoopee.
Okay, I don't know what.
Like, I'm not doing none of that shit anymore. I'm just not. Like, honestly, I'm out. I good. Listen, I gotta find a way to get out of social media. This whole sector, all of social media, is a dumpster. Is a dumpster full of baby shit on fire. And we got to get the fuck out of here, Jay.
I mean, to be honest, I've been spending most of my time on TikTok because it's much more peaceful.
I'm about to go to TikTok, man. I'm about to say fuck YouTube, dude, because this is not the play. All these weirdos and motherfuckers and shit. I'm like, yo, I just listened to this drunk, crazy trailer park hippie talk about how the president and the Illuminati ruined his life and shit. And I was like, oh, here we go.
How I don't even want to know. But okay. But it's funny because this literally, I don't know if it's my headphones or your sound or what, but anyway. It's funny how they prove the point of the misinformation on Facebook. I was saying in the chat before you got shut down, what a lot of people don't realize is that they are affected by confirmation bias. A lot of times people will search for something until it agrees with their viewpoints. So that's where a lot of those talking points come from, because they won't, it's like, and that's where the whole, mainstream media is bad because, some obscure reason. And they'll search for some obscure website until they find that, see, this one line right here proves what I was saying all along. I've seen so many times, even on Twitter, where, I've seen so many times on Twitter and Facebook too, where someone will repost something, especially with the whole vaccine thing going on. And they'll say, see, it says right here that it doesn't work. But they won't post the lines before or the lines after it, where it might say, oh, that it might not work if you have cancer. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just making it up. I don't know if that's what it was, but you know what I mean? Like, it'll say it might not work if you have cancer, but they won't post that part. They'll just post the part that says it doesn't work. And it's called confirmation bias. And a lot of people in these spaces suffer from that.
I think one of the things about it is this is why I don't listen to people when they talk about medical. The first thing are you a doctor? Well, no, but I read from a forum, if you check out this YouTube video, and I'm like, I guess we have another YouTube scientist on our hands.
Right, and that's the thing. I have friends. Two of my close friends are actual scientists. Like, I have one friend that actually does audits for the FDA. I have another friend that has been researching cancer for many years. And if I got a question, I'll ask them. Like, I'm like, wait, because that's the thing. If it's not, and I'm not even talking like, oh, go to CNN or some other. Is it posted in a medical journal? And I think we're at the point now where people don't even believe like the CDC and all. Oh, well, that's run by the government. Like, okay, well, you can go to independent. You can go to the New England Journal of Science. You can go to this medical journal. But again, it still goes back to confirmation bias, because they'll find that one doctor out of 1,000 doctors that said it was wrong. So it's like 999 doctors said that it was right, but you go and find this one doctor that didn't agree with it. And that's how people are getting away with a lot of these, with a lot of these, what's the word I'm looking for? Not mandates, with a lot of these exceptions, if you will.
It's always like that, man. And seeing it, I gotta tell you right now, there's a lot of whacked out, wacko, crazy people that the internet has definitely given them a home for inciting violence.
Mm-hmm.
Inciting.
You had someone that was in your chat earlier that said, "Oh, January 6th wasn't a real thing. It was started by the FBI." Like, what? Like that? They literally, again, when you look at the court cases, they've literally proved over and over and over again, all these people that are sitting in jail, that no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. This is what happened, and it all started, most of it started on Facebook and Twitter.
Listen, a lot of stuff. If that's the case, there would be no point for the red pill theory talk. You come here on social media to backdoor chat forums and shit to get your circle jerk on. They have.
And I mean, the same goes for, the KS followers and all of that. The same goes for them. It's starting to spill over into other Facebook groups, and there were groups that I was in that were generally peaceful. And now over like the last 6 months, I'm noticing it's like a lot of these like KS bots, and I'm saying bots, I'm assuming they're actual people, but who knows? And they're like, oh, wow, what a submission. Oh, what about this? Oh, what do they bring to the table? Big piece of meat. Like, it's like, where is all of this shit coming from? It's because it's cycled in and cycled through people, like you said, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, the pandemic has had, an effect on people where they've had a lot more time on their hands probably than they did in the past. So with that being said, they start listening to these, dating coaches, we've talked about that ad nauseum. They listen to these dating. Yeah, that sounds good. Confirmation bias. Yeah, my last girlfriend didn't give me the big piece of meat, and then it starts spilling into these groups, and other people start listening. On and on it goes, and it's all bullshit. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right, think about that, Ruby. And yeah, I know some of y'all like, hey, my Facebook still works. Yeah, I can still get on to somewhat of my Facebook, but like I tried clicking on to my mom's post of her showing her pictures of her and her new bathroom. So it's light it out. Right now, they are going through some heavy.
Oh yeah, they definitely gonna be whenever you get back on Facebook again, it's gonna be a lot of shit that's no longer there.
Listen, say goodbye to a lot of y'all friends, but they right now they're doing the rapture right now.
A lot of bots are gonna be gone.
A lot of them are listen. But see, I'm not mad. And I'm telling you right now, if they're looking at Facebook, Instagram, best believe they're coming over to YouTube. They're definitely coming over here. But I can promise you're going to be like, wait, where did this video get recorded at? YouTube, yeah, what's up? Hey, did you know about this? Okay. We got to just be honest, man. A lot of misinformation.
I don't know why people think that, their identity is secret on here. It might be secret to the regular person, but it ain't secret to the powers that be.
It ain't secret to that guy on that other side of that screen that handles your information. And, well, I'll just make another account. Unless you can reformat, I got a VPN. Dude, stop. I don't know what they keep thinking you're telling yourself, but y'all swear up and down y'all off the grid. I know there's still people that say they're off the grid, but they're on YouTube panels and shit talking to us. Like, motherfucker, you ain't that off the grid if you're talking to us on a panel. Like,
you know what? If you're here in the States, especially, you're not off the grid. I say that all the time. He was like, "Oh, Bill's off the grid." You're not off the grid anywhere here in the United States. Stop.
No, you're really not. Just that you're not a bothersome. And the thing about it is, for a lot of people, is it's the accountability marker that, like Francis, like Miss Francis just said in her thing. She said, "Hey, people are putting out a lot of misinformation that has and is getting people hurt, harmed, and killed, and even also doing a lot of mental and psychological."
And I think a lot of this not started, but I think a lot of it came to a head with the vaccines. A lot of it came to a head with the vaccines because a lot of people have died because of misinformation.
Mm-hmm. And I tell people, I said, listen, y'all, if you don't know, it's okay. And I said this on a panel. If you're afraid, just say you're afraid. If you don't understand, just say you don't understand. If you say, not my job, then go find another job. There's plenty of jobs out there. Here, McDonald's is right now paying $20 an hour. That is damn good. I never thought in my lifetime McDonald's would be paying somebody.
I think Target is starting at like $15 an hour. Like,
listen,
but a lot of these places are also requiring vaccinations, so it leads you back to square one.
So, I mean, hey, go find a mom and pop store. This is now the time. If y'all don't want to deal with big corporation, go to mom and pop. Go work at mom and pop stores. I'm sure nobody will bother you. Y'all think that somebody. The thing about it is, we put out a lot of these disillusions of what we feel should happen or offer entitlements. And what I mean by that, there once was an entitlement that a woman should know her place. That she should never butt back or say anything back in case. What's going on spiritual logic? It's a real solid dude. You guys, y'all need to understand, man. These things are boiling the head. Putting out the wrong information, now people can start coming after you now. And this woman, Frances Haugen, yeah, I know Karen.
I mean, she's probably going to wind up dead somewhere, but,
Hey, she understands this. She understands. She's going after a $1 trillion corporation that has 2.8 billion people connected. Right now, I remember when social media went down for just 1 hour. You know, the people had mental breakdowns and freakouts. Like, I can only imagine what's going on in these 3 hours that somebody can't go online and look at Classic Ruby's feet. Like, most likely, some of y'all dudes who hate women, y'all cannot connect to your OnlyFans chick and see if she's breathing or find out if Jay is touching herself. I know y'all going through some type of mental breakdown. Something happened and you can't be on TikTok. It's okay.
Well, TikTok isn't down, so TikTok and Twitter aren't owned by Facebook, so they're not down. But
They
WhatsApp,
got that. Oh, okay. So they're not
yeah,
owned by.
WhatsApp and Instagram are owned by Facebook, so they are down. I'm not sure about Snapchat. I'm not 100% sure about Snapchat, but yeah, like I said, the kids use Snapchat, and that's the funny thing. Like I said earlier, kids don't even be on Facebook. They're, trust and believe, like my daughter and all her friends, they're all on Snap. They don't have no Facebook, and they have no interest in getting a Facebook page.
Old people are now, as they call us.
Yeah, basically, it's old people on Facebook. Like I asked my daughter, "You want a Facebook page?" She's like, "Ew, no."
God damn it! I thought I was cool when I got on MySpace. Now I'm behind the curve again. And
yeah, no, absolutely not. Snapchat.
So Snapchat, okay. And so understand, this is not the only place that this is happening on. It happens on. I remember Tommy Sotomayor.
He's on Pornhub now, so make it make sense.
So exactly, but the same thing he hates. So
right, selling ass, make it make sense. The same thing that made him famous on YouTube, he is now doing on Pornhub.
He's now a part of that.
Under his name, like he's not even hard to find. If you type in his name on the hub, he's there.
Now, question: do you feel this is over censorship or is this accountability? Which one do you think it is?
You asking me or Kareem?
It doesn't matter. I think let's ask Kareem. Kareem, what's going on there?
Hey, I listen to you guys. I love your channel. I love when Miss J comes on because she really gives a fresh point of view. I agree with everything, basically, what you guys are saying. For me, I know it's a form of censorship, yes, but sometimes we have to be censored. I mean, unfortunately, I know we preach free speech, but there is not really that free. Like a lot of speech isn't really not that free. So we got to keep it real. And also for me, I found this is a personal story with Facebook. When I was on Facebook, I found I was fighting with people. My family was fighting. I had to get off of Facebook for my mental health and for my relationship. I had to get off of it. So I literally deleted my account because it was just crazy. So I see what the lady's talking about. I believe her. I don't think she's just, she's telling the truth. And they need to do something. Like I have Instagram, and Instagram for me is not really that problematic because I just usually do for just to look at people, look at celebrities or look at certain things. I'm not on TikTok, but Instagram and WhatsApp, I speak to people that's outside of the United States. That's what WhatsApp is for me. So those two platforms are okay because I'm not like engaging like I was on Facebook. But like Facebook, I don't know, something about it. It's not right. They need to really retool it and the programming, what they're doing, the algorithm, whatever they're doing something to mess with people because it personally happened to me. So yeah, it's censorship, and I think they should be censored because they're putting out news, right? They're a news publisher or whatever now they are, so they have to have some type of regulation. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is.
So let me put this on. So let me ask you this, and before I boomerang it right back to co-host, but I know some people saying this is over censorship, and I remember earlier you was very passionate when we were talking about the immigrants coming up from South America, right? How would that make you feel if there are people on social media putting out all kinds of talk about immigrants?
They do. They put out a lot of false stuff all the time, and that's also I was fighting on people with about the immigrant.
Now hold on, Kareem. Now hold on. And I could tell from talking to you a few times, your emotional gauge, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so I could understand you are very emotionally vested in that. Just like when I talked to Classic Ruby, another Jamaican. Hey Ruby, she's Jamaican. and how they'll say Jamaican women have culture and they know how to X, Y, and Z, but black women in America, and then Ruby like, whoa, where y'all coming at with this? Like, chill out. You're putting out misinformation. You know what I'm saying, Jay?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And just like how you are like, well, when the immigrants come here, they're gonna fuck up and destroy the country. And you're like, wait, then what am I? Because you're putting out false information. You see, everybody says, some people say, well, it's censorship until they start being the target.
But it's also misinformation because you know what they don't talk about, what the media as a whole don't talk about. They don't. There's a few different. I'm not gonna skip subjects. I'm gonna circle back around. But there's two things that they don't talk about. They talk about COVID deaths. They talk about COVID numbers. They don't talk about long-term effects that people have from COVID. Yeah, most people do survive, but a lot of people are having long-term effects that last 6 months or longer from COVID. A.
True.
B. Also, they don't talk about the people that the majority of the quote unquote illegal immigrants that are here came here legally with a
Right.
green card.
Thank you for saying that. I get
Yeah.
so upset because it's like they talk about, oh, everybody jumping over border. No, there's
They're
so
not.
much Chinese. You know how much Chinese
I was
illegal
going to say
immigrants?
Russians. It's actually Russians. The Russians are huge. There are so many Russians that are here illegally. They don't talk about it. So I just wanted to say those two things. And then that goes back to, like you said, the media, misinformation and everything, because what's being pushed out to us, especially certain networks. And then there's also certain networks that are pushing anti-vax information, but all their employees are vaccinated. So,
I don't know. The
misinformation.
vaccine
But go
thing
ahead.
too. The vaccine thing affected me too because initially I didn't want to take it. Initially I was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna wait until it's FDA approved. I wasn't really into listening to everything people were saying, but for me, like, I talked to my doctors and whatever. I'm vaccinated because, whatever, I talked to the doctor says it's okay for me to do it, blah blah blah. But initially I didn't want to get it because of all the rhetoric behind it. Like, they brought up the Tuskegee thing, the syphilis thing, and all of this thing, and then all of these things that they push, and you're like, you know what, I don't know. It's too quick. But then when I did the research, they said that, oh, the technology's old, so they were able to do it quick because they had the technology to do it quick. So it's like a lot of misinformation that we hear that we don't really.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally get why us as minorities are skeptical about it, but that's
Yeah, no,
totally
I don't come on people platform and push that nonsense because, like I said,
yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I don't, like I said, tell people, speak to your own doctors, and so you can know personally. You can't. People on TV aren't doctors. I mean, they have Dr. Fauci, but whatever. You don't have to listen to him. Most people have a personal doctor. I mean, if you're really that concerned about it, you could speak to your own personal doctor. You don't need to come on social media and fight with people about being vaccinated. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Facebook
it's
ain't
just
where you need to
ridiculous.
be at. Right. Facebook
Yeah.
ain't
So,
where you need to be at for that.
So, for me, and like I said,
I mean, for you, Joe, you were in the military, so you got jabbed with so many other things. I mean,
exactly.
it doesn't matter.
You bring up a plausible point, and yeah, I concede to that. I do. I always tell people, I go study for yourself. Like, it's nothing for y'all to go down to a hospital or a hospital or a clinic and just talk. You'd be surprised. Like, the medical staff be sitting right outside, just chilling, eating bagels and smoking a cigarette, and literally they'll be like, hey, like, they'll have the conversation with you on certain stuff.
But see, that's what we mean by misinformation. People will find that you have 90, you'll have 99 nurses and 99 doctors that are vaccinated and believe in the science and believe in the vaccine, but they'll find that one doctor or that one nurse that is against it. But you're not going to listen to the other 99 people. Yeah, well, I have my friend's best friend's cousin's aunt's sister is against it. Okay, so one nurse is against it, but you just talked to 99 other nurses that are for it. That's what's called, again, confirmation bias.
See,
Yeah, that's real. That's so real.
But see, here's the thing about it. When it came down to that, I had it happen as to it was actually older black people that had more skin in the game to talk about those types of things that were the ones that said, hey son, you need to go get this taken care of because you can get sick.
Because they lived through a lot of them, like polio is still, like a lot of them were around during polio and measles outbreaks and stuff like that, so they've seen what it can, stuff like that can do.
So understand, like, listen, y'all, like I'm not badgering like some stuff like, and I'm gonna say this. Let me knock it at this. When I hear people talk about the home, talk about like how the art of how what the nature of what a woman is, or the nature of a man and all this stuff, and I'm like, how did you put every woman in that one bottle
Right.
versus your experience?
Because that girl that dissed them in high school, they're still mad at, and they haven't gotten over it. And again, I, like you said, I do not argue with these people anymore. I'll be like, you know what, you need to seek therapy,
Well,
like for real.
that's fair. That's fair. The same way I always ask for the same thing for as men. When I hear certain women come on, I'm like, granted, yeah, that's you have a valid on how you feel, but that's not me. That's not me and how I act. It's not how Jay acts. I don't think that's how Kareen act. I mean, we don't always agree, but we never got it to the point where we started belligerent, calling each other out of our names. I mean, yeah,
I mean, I have blocked you a few times, so.
you have blocked me. You had.
I
I
mean,
find it.
people are passionate and you get triggered, but I feel like we need to be emotionally mature. Like, we're grown people. There's no reason for people, I mean, some people do it because they said they like the content, and with all the all the craziness, people tune in, so people do that for money. They want people to tune into the craziness. But I think if you want to have a good conversation about real things and real issues, you gotta minimize that. You have to have real conversations. And they're not having real conversations. They're just having people on the panel fighting and calling people names and just being stupid. And yeah, okay, if it's entertaining, yes, it's entertaining. But if you were trying to do something, have a channel to elevate people, that's not how you elevate people.
Right.
Right. I think one of the things about it, and I want to show y'all this one channel. Um, it's real close to me. If you really want um, a good conversation, health, fitness, pretty much, pretty much accountability, as well as he brings predominantly professionals in that field on. I would tell y'all to go to Fourth Quarter Talk. I know this guy is very good. He is a health coach, fitness. He actually brings on his family that's in mental health and awareness, and it amazes me those type of shows hardly get the amount of views.
Right,
Whenever
because he's not talking about child support. He's not talking about submission. He's not, right now, if you get off of, as we know, we've tried it before. You can right now make another show with the topic submission, and what's the other hot talking
we done
things
that
again?
before, I'm not gonna lie,
And
you guys.
they will come in droves to talk about that.
So it
Or
amazes me.
mention any hot topic that's on now. R. Kelly, or any, I know you spoke about R. Kelly, but any
Just
topic like that, the people will come. But when you want to talk about real issues, people don't come to listen to real things. And it's supposed to be like a platform to talk to each other, which is why I liked it. That's why I like the space. And I don't hate the manosphere. I'm not one of these people, like, I listen to a lot of these people because even though I don't agree with a lot of things they say, I kind of like the talking. I want to hear them talk. And some of the issues I feel they have the right to speak their about what's going on with them. I think they drag on blaming women too much, but it's you want to hear what people have to say. But the fighting and the name calling and all the craziness, I'm like, come on, y'all. It's just, I feel very immature. And I guess that's what, like I said, that's what sells. That's what people like. They like the drama.
Now, you see, the thing about it is this: I didn't have a problem with. I was manosphere. I still have my card and all the stuff. But the thing about it, I pulled away. And the reason why I pulled away was because I saw the functionality. I started seeing what it started to spawn and breed. And yes, everybody has a right. Everybody does. You have the freedom to talk. But then when you start seeing what starts to become, or what starts to come out of that space, and like I said, like it's literally in the doctors where they start to see incitement of violence about women. You start to see the incitement of violence against certain types of beliefs of gender or political views, or literally saying. Now, I've also seen it on some women. I've seen some women say, "I'm not gonna say." It's not as big of a rep. You would have to go to the very vastly extreme. But you would have to go to the extremist feminism channels where they just don't like any fucking man to want to talk around. But it's one of those things as to where you go to the extremism at some point, and I gotta be for real, man. And I'm being honest. I don't believe every voice needs to be heard. I'm a firm believer. I know some people say everybody has a right to speak. I don't believe that. No, no. I don't think everybody should speak. I don't think everybody should have the right to speak. A lot of people say, well, I don't agree with that. Constitutional, fuck your constitution. Because your constitution is the same thing that had no problem oppressing certain people. So when certain people have a constitution of saying that Jay should be shackled and beat, I mean, we've heard that, have we not, Jay?
Yep.
We've heard it
I
where
never heard that. Really? They're saying that in public?
when I say listen, when I say me and Jay have heard
Yep.
it all.
We have had people come through this panel basically saying when in a relationship, like a woman should be punished accordingly.
Yo, these people are not. They don't. I listen. I think these people are capping for the panel because in their real life, you really think these people operate like that in their real life?
Well,
Come on, man.
that was what I was gonna say, and I know I've said it on your panel as well, Joe. Is that that's the thing? If you've been talking, and that goes for men and women, I do not discriminate, but if you have been talking the same BS for 5 years, and when I say BS, I mean like these are my rules and regulations. These are my rules and regulations, and you've been saying that that's been your list and your rules and regulations for 5 plus years. And you've been talking that same shit for 5 plus years, and you've been actively searching for someone. I'm not talking about people who just aren't in the dating market. I'm talking about people that are like, oh, I just can't find anybody. I just can't find anybody, but they have, and they've been talking the same shit on these panels for years and years and years. Maybe you need to change your approach.
Yeah,
Now
well,
watch
like,
now. So
Yeah, and I'm not
Kareem,
talking about folks that like aren't interested. I know there are plenty of women,
we're gonna
especially.
show you. Kareem, I want to show you. Some people, when I say me and Jay have done it all, just about under the sun, on social media. That's why nothing surprises us anymore. So we're going to show you this. Don't worry, it's our channel, right? And play
Can you
this.
hear me? I can hear you. Cool, cool, cool. I was saying I wound up coming in, I guess, on y'all was already, what I'm saying, I know I missed a little bit. But the topic of discussion what I see was R. Kelly. Okay, right. So I wanted to ask you a question before we get into this discussion because I don't recall ever seeing a video about this. So when Jeffrey Epstein was charged, did you do a video about that?
Long time ago.
You did?
Yeah, long time ago.
I never seen it, so that's why I was asking.
Weinstein, all of them, we've talked about it.
You had this one guy.
Oh, what about what Davis?
You had this one guy literally say that a woman cannot be forcibly raped.
And this was just the other day. This was literally last week.
Hey, this is just a normal Thursday for me and Jay. This is why now I have to take breaks from YouTube at this point. we have to take breaks.
The long and short of it is he blamed everyone except the person that actually did it, R. Kelly.
When
So
you have it where grown adults can say, why didn't she close her mouth if he was going to stick his penis in her mouth? Ain't nobody can force a woman to get an abortion. When we done seen uh, articles where they have poured bleach on a woman, kicked them down the stairs, or taken them down to the clinic and threatened them, if you do not get that abortion, I'm going to kill you.
And putting they break they what you call it, drugs in their food and stuff like that. What is
yep,
wrong with these people?
yep, and that's what we're saying. Like people, yeah, I guess you figure
It's
if you
a
say it loud
normal
enough, it
day.
makes it true.
It's a normal day
Right.
on my pant.
Some people on the
So,
internet are mentally challenged. I'm sorry.
but see,
They're
but hold on
mentally
now.
challenged.
Hold on, Kareem. But see, when you have what people say, that's not possible. That can't happen. They must have wanted it. That's misinformation because you're putting out false information that a woman can get 7 to 8 to 10 abortions. They can't do that. It's hard enough just to get one abortion because
Right, and the
literally,
average, and that's the thing. That's misinformation. The average woman does not do, get. Most women are not you again, and I think in this space as a whole, of course, that travels into Facebook and all that other BS. I think people always seem to talk about the lowest common denominator. And I know I said that all the time. People will talk about the woman that has 8 kids and 8 different baby daddies. They'll talk about the woman that's never worked and been on food stamps and Section 8. They'll talk about the
Outliers, like, but when you mention outliers, like when I tell them all my friend, like the majority of my friends are married. Oh, how is that? How is that? How is that?
right.
Because they are, like, just because the stat says 1 in 4 black women. Listen, I most of my friends who are black, I mean, I guess they were like, oh well, they're non-ADOS. Okay, whatever, they're black, we black, are married. So they'll be like, oh, that's an outlier. Okay, but you're bringing up outliers. It doesn't make any sense.
I worry that I know some people saying, well, what about the men, BMT? I worry a lot about the men. This is why I push hard. A lot of my stuff is for men. About a naive man coming on here. He might have a story about him being let down or being dumped by a girl. And if you get around the wrong type of people, they can contort that. They can fuck it up. They can actually skew your judgment. Or they might tell you all kind of horror stories of why they got something happen to them in their life. Hell, we have it where one dude, he talks about his kids all the time, but he never talks about what he did, just about how fucked up his situation is. And then we sit there on the back chat, and me and Jay will say, there's something not right about that story. And then the other men will be like, see, BMT, you got to acknowledge this story. I said, I listen to the story, but is that the whole full story? I'm not going to just believe you because you said that, because I was a child that grew up in a home, and I knew my mom and dad got into a fight. Dad said, fuck it, I'm out. Just left.
They're encouraging these men to not fight for the child. Like, if they do, it's hard. It's a lot of money, Yeah, I mean, I I I know personally, family members that went through child support and whatever. So I'm not, oh, child support, whatever. Child support is 100% accurate. It isn't. It's a business. It is a business. I will agree to that because I see how people are screwed over it. But to say that you stop fighting for your child and then you're getting mad, if you stop going to court and not fighting, then that's what's gonna happen. You got to continue
Right.
doing it.
I
And
would say,
what they do is they don't tell the other side of the story, and that's what we're saying. So
Right.
like they'll say, "Oh, my ex don't even let me talk to my son." Okay, but the part of the story they're not telling is that they're calling at 11 o'clock at night after their kid is in bed.
Right. Come on.
Or they don't let them talk to their son. Like, for example, as a matter of fact, my narcissistic ex, for years, of course, he not years, I was with him like 18 months, I guess, but for a long time, he had me believing that his ex was like this horrible person and this, that, and the third, didn't want him to see the son or his daughter and blah 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 blah. And I found out after we broke, his daughter now has got to be about probably almost grown. But I found out probably a year or two after we broke up, I found out that he broke that lady's jaw. Not his daughter, but the baby mother. And I said, oh, that's why she doesn't let him see her. When they were together, he broke this woman's jaw. And
So,
that's
so
why
what
she
did he
never really
think
want to
was gonna
have anything to do with
happen?
him.
Yeah, did he think that she's really gonna allow? Come on, these people are just
Right. And that was the other side of the story. I was like, damn. And then the same thing, he would always be like, oh, my exes are crazy. Oh, my exes are crazy. And then again,
yeah.
then when I turned into the quote unquote crazy ex, it was like, huh, it all makes sense now. Again, until you get that other side of the story, and of course, I'm not saying that there aren't quote unquote evil exes out there, but I'm gonna be real with you. As a woman, most women ain't keeping nobody from their kids on purpose because most women want their father
Right.
to be in their life.
To
So
to
it's a
to
bunch
to
of
get a
bullshit.
break. So please.
Right.
I mean, I always go in the panel, be like, well, they'd be like, oh, you. I said, well, I'm a rebellious single mom. I'm a single mom. You're talking about. I don't behave like that. I get in the panel and tell them that. I'm like, I'm not afraid of you guys. You're on the internet, so you're not me. You want to say these baby mama this, baby mama that. I come on the panel to explain to you that I don't have those issues, and I'm a single parent and unwed mother, and I don't have the crazy issues that you guys portray that all women have or all women is. But they'd be like, oh no, well, you're an outlier, you're an outlier. Oh, listen, it takes two. You telling one side of the story is both sides of the story, and you can't, if you're telling your side and you want us to be sympathetic to you, you have to tell the whole story, because you're not trying to help people. You're just encouraging people to be adversarial for no reason. We need to get along and co-parent. And if I were them, I would encourage the men to be co-parent properly so they could have access to their children, so their children could grow up as best as they can. It's already they're already operating on a deficit because it's a single parent household. So you're not going to be a part of your child's life. Co-parent properly. I mean, come
Right.
on.
See, the thing about it is when we come to this is why that's why when I cover when looking at the misinformation of these channels, and I've seen them, race bait, political bait, uh, relationship bait. There's different type.
Yeah,
You
I think
feed
we just
certain
I
type.
think we pretty much covered like every little every little piece of information in
So
general.
when I
And that right.
so, so when we watch it, and I'm saying, and I get some people saying, well, people just need not to look at it. No, people like Jay just told you, they're going to look for whatever type of outage. It's like case in point before I end the show. Um, when it comes to uh, you at work, the negative people seek out the negative people at the smoke area, rather than actually correcting themselves and bettering themselves. They rather hang with the people who don't give a fuck. So Kareem can say, "Come on, y'all, like we can pick up the quota and get the stuff to work." And I'd be like, "Man, who gives a shit?" And Jay, she might have a bad day. She ain't gonna possibly want to go around Korea, but she probably might want to vent. So coming around me while I vent and talk shit, that makes her feel good. Guess what she's gonna do more often? She's gonna come around the smoke pit where I'm at and do less work and vent and vent and vent. And this is why you're starting to see certain groups, certain acolytes, and certain affiliations. They're doing that. That's what they do. It helps them alleviate whatever anything I can do to get away from that problem. I know people drink, smoke, have sex, jump on panels for hours at a time.
Yeah, that and that's and that's and it's a spiral. It definitely is a spiral. The whole drinking and smoking and it's a spiral. You can't. It's not sustainable. Is what I'm saying. It's not sustainable for anyone.
Right.
And I think we're in the age where we do have information at our fingertips 24 hours a day. And I guess in conclusion, I'll say this, like, we have information at our fingertips 24 hours a day, good, bad, or indifferent. And I hate to say it, but back in my day, it was like you watch the news at 6 o'clock, you watch the news at 6:30, and then that was it. But now it's constantly in your face all the time. More information, more information, more information. And the news media is trying to be the first one to push out the story, the first one to push out the story. So that's where I think, unfortunately, that's where some of this, misinformation comes from, because they're always trying to be the first to push out the story. And us as people, instead of taking a break from Facebook or that particular site or whatever, instead of just protecting your peace, as I always like to say, we want more. We start looking for the story and looking for this and looking for that. And I think it's starting to happen, and we're kind of seeing it coming to a head today, probably with Facebook, where now this is where we're at. And now, of course, with the pandemic and everyone's just with so much extra time on their hands, and now we're here.
So you guys definitely be careful out there. You are going to see some changes. No, BMT will never, ever, 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 ever fucking do another conspiracy panel ever again. I don't give a shit to listen to them. I don't give a shit to hear them. No, that's a waste of my time. If I want to do that, I'm gonna go watch Sci-Fi Channel. At least I know what it is. But I'm not doing the shit no more. Like, y'all need to go get a hobby. It just happened to be that now. Hey, I know y'all just like y'all believe. Oh God, Me Too's going after the black man. Are y'all gonna say that Facebook and Instagram going after the black man? Listen.
Somehow, some way, it's gonna be about the black. Somehow, some way, they gonna turn it into some R. Kelly freaking conspiracy.
I'm telling y'all right now, this is a $1 trillion corporation fight against the governments of the world. They're not thinking about your fucking goddamn 10,000 subscriber, 100,000 subscriber channel. They're talking about
this is way bigger than that. They don't care, they don't care that you had 100 people in your room last night. Right.
Like, they don't care about that. They're looking at, yo, dude.
True, Ruby. That is their hobby. Conspiracies. That's their literal hobby, conspiracies. And it's really sad. So we've seen people, as a matter of fact, somebody was in the chat earlier, go down this rabbit hole, and you're just sitting there like, what? And I always say, I'm not saying conspiracies don't exist, but my whole thing is they do so much shit in front of your face. Concentrate on that. We don't need to concentrate on the conspiracies. There's so much BS that the government does right in front of your face.
And you could never really know what's going on behind the scenes if you're not behind the scenes. Right. So we could all make assumptions, but we're not gonna know the real deal. Come on.
I tell you this, and this is the thing about it, and I'm just very honest to kill it. But nobody ever fucking really answers the question. If you knew the fucking conspiracy, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do?
That too, right? I say that all the time. And let's say that.
What are you gonna do about that? If I knew somebody put poison, what's this? There's a conspiracy that there is lotion in this water. Okay? There's a conspiracy that there is something in this water. I might be able to see it. Let me just try. I need one child. Let me just see. I need one child.
Now they're gonna be now there's gonna be 8-hour panels about you now, Joe.
I don't give a shit.
So ridiculous. I mean, even with this world, the cabal against doing these people who are doing these things. What can we do? We're not. How are we gonna go against them?
Well, that's like the whole thing with the microchip in the vaccine. Oh, there's a microchip in the vaccine. You have a cell phone.
I love her braids. Her braids is pretty.
Who, me?
No.
Who, her? I was like, what? Oh, there she is.
So,
my screen is on a lag. Oh. She looking at him like.
There's a conspiracy that there's something in this world.
She looking at him like, what?
That's lotion. Are you sure? I put lotion there. How do you know?
Because that white stuff is lotion now.
But
She like, if you don't leave me alone.
you still want to drink the water?
No, that's poisonous.
But however,
Yeah.
hey, how you
Say,
doing?
leave me alone, Dad.
There's a conspiracy. What are you gonna do? I put the water right here. What are you gonna do?
Spill it out.
You're gonna just throw it out?
Yeah.
Why?
Because people can drink that and that's going to make you sick.
So you have enough sense to know that if you think that that's hazardous.
Oh, here come the other one.
Yeah, because it's going to. Yeah, I'd rather not drink that because
So you.
even though I would drink water,
Why he bothering these kids?
Okay.
I probably wouldn't drink.
So tell you what, I give you the power to have a choice. Are you gonna drink it or throw it away?
No, whatever.
Okay, go throw it away. Get out. Thank you. Love you. Y'all can have food snacks.
You have beautiful kids. Your kids are beautiful.
Leave them babies alone.
I just showed y'all how to end a conspiracy theory. You have the right to choose not. Literally, if a child could figure out that with common sense, I don't know what to tell the adults. But literally, if y'all really believe there's 5G is destroying our brain, then stop using the goddamn cell phone. Go. They selling gas station cell phones, flip phones. Go use that motherfucker. I can promise you that is not on 5G.
And there's
really
cameras on every corner. That's why I said you're never off the grid in the United States. Like, there's cameras on every corner. Like, come on. There's cameras. You have a cell phone. You use your social security to get a job. Like, I mean, you're not off the grid. You're not. If they want to track you, they can track you. I'm pretty sure they can just have the satellite and zoom, 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 right on you.
But we do this from Enemy of the States in 1996 that they
Right,
could find us
exactly.
anywhere. So come on, y'all.
It's so funny watching Enemy of the State now, 25 years later. Like it's like, oh, that's all? That's so basic.
I mean, I'm just saying, and the reason, like I said to people who are watching in the chat, the clouds and everything, if y'all know these things, why are you participating in these things? You saw the child literally say their own mouth, I can see that. I'm not going to participate in that. As the great Jay will say, save your peace. She didn't even entertain it. The child, the little black girl did not even entertain it. She just said,
I think they're used to your shenanigans, sir.
Whatever. They can be used to it until the cows come home. They will be propped on my stage until the apocalypse. What's going on, X? What's going on, Brother Speak?
Like exactly, Speak. They say Dad got me on YouTube with this bullshit.
So it's okay. They have no. So like I said, it's just one of those things. And sometimes, it's funny. Sometimes my kids overhear the conversations on YouTube and they laugh. They laugh at what adults are saying because they're like, why are they upset? Why not just get off the panel? Or pretty much, if he knows that's bad, then why is he still doing it? Like, you gotta understand, sometimes you gotta just dumb down your thinking process to that of common sense. Common sense. If you think it's bad, you don't trust it, don't do it. If you think that, hey, this is depending upon my freedom of being a human being, the child, I said, what do you want to do with that water bottle? What the child said they were going to do? Just throw it away. They said, well, I'm going to keep it for study, or I'm going to go and tell more people, no, they just threw it away. But there's no point in keeping it going.
The conspiracy stops with them.
The conspiracy. That's why I said I done stopped thinking about this generation now. The kids are probably going to be the ones that are going, we got to stop this. They're going to probably look back at a lot of these videos and shit and stuff, and they're going to be like, yeah, we got to stop this. Y'all are too crazy as fuck. So we got to stop this. They'll probably check me into an old folks home and give me a phone or hopefully some pot pies and some beef patties and leave me the fuck.
And some fried chicken skin.
Oh, I like fried chicken skins. So they'll probably give me that and take me to IHOP once a week. But like I said, my kids.
On your birthday, they'll take you to what you call it?
Shoney's? You think so?
To Shoney's, yeah.
I'm an easy man to please. I am not hard to please. As long as you feed me and give me something warm to sleep on, I don't have much fight back to go about. I mean, that's just it. Um, it's pretty easy to take care of a man. Feed him, fuck him, and let him sleep, and he'll pretty much just go about living his life in the house. So, like I said, yeah, no, and somebody might ask me, am I training my daughters to be submissive? I'm not. Not whatever fuck kind of shit y'all.
Well, that's probably a whole other conversation. But I have seen a few posts from people that said that they were training their daughters to become submissive housewives. I don't know how one in the year 2021 would train. I hate that word train. Would train a child to become quote unquote submissive housewives. That sounds like borderline pedophilia, but yeah.
But see, the thing about it is, okay, and that's the talk for. I'll say that for another time.
Yeah, I know. That's another
time. Because you never know who you're. I'll say that for another time. I'll say it for another time. I gotta say my piece. I'll see you guys later. Much love to y'all. Again, go ahead and look up 60 Minutes, Francis Hewen. Look it up.
It aired yesterday, right? So it would have been yesterday's episode?
Yeah. 17 hours.
Just to make sure we're giving credit where credit is due. So it was yesterday's episode of 60 Minutes. And they interviewed yesterday's episode of 60 Minutes.
Check it out. I'm telling you right now.
From community.
I'm telling you right now. It's a really good. It's not even long. It's literally 60 Minutes is old. They're very old. I think they're
60 Minutes has been around shit at least the last 40 years, probably longer. Yeah, so, I'm sure.
You can't be saying, "Oh man, they're giving off." No, 60 Minutes is just literally they just do interviews. Like that's the big,
right.
That's
they're not left. They're not right. They're not. They just give the information.
They give you the information, and so check it out. She's putting out. This woman is not nobody. This woman is a somebody that literally works through every high corporation and literally saying, "Hey, y'all motherfuckers out there are crazy, and we got to start blowing the whistle and stuff." And so, check it out. It's yeah. Oh yeah, T-Bag. I think they're more because my grandma was watching this when she was a teenager. I remember, so I knew when 60 Minutes came on, it was about time for bed. So. They used to come on at 8:00 at night. So it's literally what they said, 60 minutes. They'll do the show within 60 minutes. That's how.
Yeah, with the little tick, 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 tick. Yeah.
They were, but that's their thing. They would get it done in 60 minutes. That show. So, but literally check it out, Francis. The Francis Hewen story. It's literally if you put in misinformation, her story's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
Literally. Because right now, that's why y'all cannot get on y'all social medias like that. Because that woman right now, she is right now causing.
I'm sure she's in hiding somewhere. I'm not even gonna lie.
Listen,
yeah.
She can't come outside right now. She's probably having to do DoorDash like a motherfucker.
Right. So I hope she got good security. Anyway.
Anybody's the most wanted person. Man, it's that Karen. It's that Karen, boy. And I can tell you right now, she might be safe in the man or something. She might be able to hide out here. But I'll see you guys later. Peace. Y'all have a good time. Shout out to Classic Ruby. Shout out to Prophet X. Shout out to everyone and everyone who came through. Peace. I am going to go eat me a beef pot pie and get some fruit snacks.